What up, guys? Dizzy from Scarborough Duelists. Just coming back from Toronto Regionals. Killed it. Well, not really, but kinda. For the deck I played, I killed it. I played Psy-Frames. Went 5 and 4. Cosmos are stupid. So are Magispectors. I faced one Pepe, but aside from that, I kind of dominated everything I played against. So yeah, let's just go right into it. So first of all, we're gonna start the deck with triple driver. Driver, you need to play him at 3 because everything needs driver. If you don't have driver, all your plays are dead, and that's essentially it. Driver makes the deck. Without him, if you have 2 of them, if they get banished with overload, like this, there's nothing you can do about it at that point. You need driver. Triple delta. So if you, sorry, I should have said this first. If you don't know what the Psy-Frames do, if you have no monsters on board and your opponent activates something, they all negate a different one in response to it, and they summon themselves and a driver from hand, deck, or graveyard, and then you can negate them. So they banish on end phase, but there are ways around it, which I'll show you throughout later. Yeah. So you run 3 delta, which is so good this format with all the spells running everywhere. The pendulums. You run 3 delta because everything gets hit by it. The pendulums get hit. The MSTs to stop your shit get hit. Spells are everywhere this format, man. Like, there's no reason not to play 3 of them. Triple gamma. Gamma negates monster effects. So if you were to activate one more thing you should know is they activate in hand. So if you were to activate, let's say, a delta to negate something from your hand, and they respond with a monster effect to stop delta, you could also activate a gamma from hand, and the gamma will resolve negating the monster effect, and then this would resolve negating the spell, and you get 2 drivers. So then you basically have a big ass board.
Damn.
Which is bananas this format. You play the 1 Epsilon. Epsilon negates traps, and traps aren't that big this format, so you can get away with running the 1. I mean, the 1 is always there for if someone was to flip, I don't know, the random person who mains an Iron Wall or a Vanities or something, but the 1 is good enough. Triple Alpha. Alpha doesn't negate anything, but he responds to summons, and when he summons on board, you can search any Psy-Frame card. That could be the trap you run, the field spell, or any of the monsters. Too good. So you run through triple beta. Beta negates direct attacks. So if they declare a direct attack while you have no board, you negate the attack with the effect in your hand, and once it summons, it destroys the monster, and if it does, it ends the battle phase. So once again, too good. Now that's it for the Psy-Frames. Run 2 Wind-Up Rabbit. The point of the rabbit, even though you might think it's useless, the rabbit summons, and he will poke you, and he will bait out the traps for like the mirror forces and everything. And Wind-Up Rabbit dodges everything. He doesn't have to resolve in a chain, so you can just literally normal summon him first turn, declare your end phase, and banish him. You have no board, so all your Psy-Frames are live.
Can I ask a question?
What's up?
Why do you run these instead of Thunderbird?
So these instead of Thunderbird, because these can start their own chain. Thunderbird has to resolve a chain. So if you were to declare your end phase, you can't just be like, oh, Thunderbird effect. For Thunderbird, they have to activate something and you have to respond. So you lose your timing on your Psy-Frames if you run Thunderbird.
True.
Best card in the deck. Triple card.
Card D.
Once again, you end up with nothing on board. You +2, and all your Psy-Frames are alive. They can't fiendish it. They can't break through it. They can't skill drain it. They can't lose 1 turn it. Nothing hurts it.
Or they lock you down.
You can't lose 1 turn it regardless because it's a normal summon, right?
That too.
Or they lock you down and poke you.
One more thing I main decked that people give me questions about were the Maxis. In this deck, you want to draw a lot, and like 90% of decks this format will special summon. 90%.
Yep.
Like Cosmos, you see a farm girl, pitch the Maxi. It makes them not want to use it because they know you're playing Psy-Frames and you're going to draw. Again, Stellar Knights, they have to special, so Maxi it.
Yeah, it's a Maxi in general. Normally, whenever you see someone play Maxi, you're just going to be like, oh, they're playing Maxi, alright, that's a card out of their hand, I'm not going to do anything else.
Exactly. That's it for the monsters. It's a lot of monsters. I don't know the number.
Hell yeah.
You can count it if you want, but not my cup of tea. So, Triple Circuit, which is the field spell for the Psy-Frames. What this does is whenever it's on board and a Psy-Frames are special summoned, you can immediately synchro summon with them for anything, as long as it equals the levels of the tuner and the non-tuner. So, just so you know, every single Psy-Frame is a tuner. Every single Psy-Frame is a tuner, and these guys are 6s. So the Psy-Frames are all levels 1 and level 2s. So you can make an 8 if you want, you can make a 7. That's access to Black Rose, Moonlight. This is access to Omega, to, I don't even know what else. Stardust Spark, Thought Ruler.
Stardust, Scrap Dragon. Any 8 in existence, basically.
And you already know how broken the 8 level 8s are. And the second effect that no one really uses with this card, but it's still good to know, this was your out to Towers, but Towers is gone, so it's not really much. When a Psy-Frame does battle with an opponent's monster, you can pitch one Psy-Frame out of your hand, and your Psy-Frame will gain attack equal to the Psy-Frame that you've pitched. So if you have any Psy-Frame, just Driver, you gain 2,500, beat over whatever you want.
Nice to know.
You run, I don't know why these were mixed up, triple Feel Zones.
Whew.
Another really good card for the deck. Feel Zone is, it targets 2 of your banished Psy-Frame cards. Doesn't have to be Psy-Frame. One Psychic Tuner, one non-Psychic. One Psychic Tuner and one non-Tuner Psychic monster. It sends them to grave from banish, and you could synchro summon with them for a Psychic type monster, and it has to be in defense position.
That's pretty good.
So either Omega or Zeta, which I'll show you later on. Triple Duality. You don't special on your turn. Doesn't matter. Search whatever you want. Make your plays. Simply card, wind up rabbit, your traps, whatever you want. The one Regeki, that's Regeki. And I played a Psychokinesis over MST for the main deck, simply because Psychokinesis, when you have control of a face-up psychic monster, you can bust 1 card in the face, 1 card on the field.
Yeah, but you take 1,000 points of damage.
You take 1,000 points, but that's not much. It's not too much.
I'd rather run MSTs.
Can you get rid of a monster with an MST?
No, but I mean...
So, okay, that was my reasoning. I side deck the MSTs if I need them.
Okay.
My Psychokinesis is there. I mean, generally everything else I have negates for. This is just a good card. Plus it's a blind space target. They're in the MST? Sure. What do you want? That's it for the spells. Pretty standard for the deck. We hardly run any traps. But the best card in the format. Overload.
I hate this card.
Everyone hates this card. Overload is once per turn, during either player's turn, you banish 1 Psy-Frame from your hand or on the field, and you can banish 1 card on the field face down, so it's gone forever. You can activate multiples of them in the same time, banish 3 cards essentially. The other thing is, when it's sent to grave, you can banish it other than the turn it's sent. So if it's gone, you can just be like, oh, banish Overload to search any Psy-Frame, which is your field spell. The only thing is it can't search itself. But if you really need it again, you would banish it, search Alpha, summon Alpha with its effect, and then you can search one of these to your hand. So that's that. Then the 1-ofs, you play 1 Bottomless, 1 Torrential, and my favorite tech of the deck, Bottomless Shifting Sand.
Oh god.
Bottomless Shifting Sand, and this, you have no idea how good this was against the Teller Knights on me. Oh man. So, half of you won't know what Bottomless does. Bottomless Shifting Sand is, on your opponent's end phase, destroy the monster on board with the highest attack, your choice of type. So, you Psy-Frames never have a monster on your end phase, on your opponent's end phase. So you just bust it, you pop a card, and it gets destroyed during your standby if you have less than 4 cards in your hand. Which you always have cards in your hand, because you're so much drop out.
Yeah, if you don't have cards and you're playing this deck, then there's something wrong.
Yeah, you're gonna get worked.
Yeah.
But that's it for the main deck.
40 cards in main deck?
40 cards. Can't run any more with the amount of power you have. So straight to the extra deck.
Ooh, extra.
Pretty simple. I mean, for 7s we run 1 Ancient Sacred Wyvern. Never made him all regionals. Never made him.
Good option.
Black Rose came clutch for me in game 2 so much.
Black Rose.
Because everyone signed so much back row for this deck, and you're just gonna be like, Black Rose and Nougat. And then you're gonna search everything later on, so you're good. Moonlight, never made it either, but it's an option, it's a good card. Triple Zeta. Zeta is essentially a 101 arc, because when he's on board, you can target 1 face-up attack position special summon monster and banish him and that monster until the next standby phase. So you could basically just send him out, and also when he's in grave, you can put one Psy-Frame back to your hand, and he goes back to the extra deck.
Oh yeah. So
that's really good.
Recycles cards
Exactly.
are banished. Yeah.
I mean, everyone's gonna get rid of it. It's not that great to have. It's gonna go, and you're gonna be all right. One Clearwing, really good card. Never made it again because nothing really targets anymore for this format. But Clearwing is still good if you fight something that is. One Michael, because everything's lights, so you can make it.
Fucking Michael.
Michael, banish a card, pay 1,000. It's not that bad. I mean, you mill on end, but it doesn't really bother you that much. Again, I've never made him. Yeah, you'd never put him on board if there's an Iron Wall on play.
Unless you want to banish the Iron Wall.
You can't.
No.
You can't activate to target it.
Really?
Because it just doesn't work.
Oh.
One Yazi. Yazi's bananas. Yazi, if you don't know, he can be targeted by card effects just off the bat. And he's basically a one-card scrap dragon. Plus, he's a 26 speeder, so not too bad. That's it for the 7s. For the 8s, you play one star to Spark.
Spark.
If they're constantly going to destroy your Overload or your field spell, Spark will save it.
Yep.
Chances are they're going to get rid of Spark, and then you have live. One Thought Ruler.
Thought Ruler.
Because he's a psychic, and so much other stuff is psychic. When one psychic monster would be targeted, you can pay 1,000 to negate it. And when he destroys a monster, you gain the destroyed monster's attack as life points. So late game, he's great. One Scrap Dragon.
Scrap Dragon.
Scrap Dragon, you can pop your Overload, pop a card on the field, and then next turn you can search with that Overload. Crimson Blader.
Crimson Blader.
If I ever fought Yang Zings, they were dead. That's all this card was. Another really good card, Psy-Frame Omega.
Omega.
I don't even know where to start with this card. Omega is once per turn. During your opponent's standby phase, I should start with, you can target one banish card in either player's banish pile, put it back to your graveyard. So one thing I did, which actually like massacred people, was I would have Zeta on their turn. Zeta would banish a card from their field, and this would be banished along with their card. And then they would do something else. I would get Omega on board. Omega would sit until the next turn, and then Omega itself on your opponent's standby would put Zeta back to grave, and they lose their card that got banished.
Damn, that's cool.
And then basically, what if you know Zeta's effect? Zeta targets a Psy-Frame in grave, puts this back to extra, and you get your card back.
You mean for banish?
Banish. No. This card, Omega will put it back to graveyard.
Yeah, but Zeta targets from banish. No?
Zeta targets a Psy-Frame from grave. Puts the
Oh.
graveyard back to your hand, and he goes back to extra deck.
Oh, okay.
Which is, again, bananas. You can also do the same loop with Overload. So if you were to search Overload, next turn put it back, it's ridiculous. And he also has a similar effect to Zeta, where he can, when he's in grave, you target one card in either player's graveyard, not a Psy-Frame, just any card, put it back to the deck, and he goes back to extra.
True.
So you can search back your bottomless shifting sands, your torrentials.
Basically anything.
Anything. Even your cars. Like, why not? And then the last card I played was one Hot Red. Hot Red's just a fucking beast. Like, he's a beast. That's essentially it. I never made him, because I'd much rather go into fucking Omega. But he's still
You
there.
could say he's hot.
Shut up, Kevin. Okay.
Yeah.
That's it for main deck. Let's go to side deck. So, the card that wins games for sides, Flying Sea.
Woo.
Satellas hate it. Magispectors hate it. Burning Abyss hates it. Geargia hates it.
Not really.
What are you gonna do?
Run it over?
It's on your side of the field.
Oh.
Whatever. It's there for anything that exceeds. That's the only monster I sided. I love my monster hands. 2 Magic Planters. Magic Plant, you can dump your Overload to search. Or, sorry, you dump your Overload to draw 2, and then you can search with the Overload next turn. 2 MSTs if the Psychokinesis wasn't working, and if they side, everyone sides Floodgates for this deck. 1 Imperial Iron Wall for Infernoids. And the Imperial Iron Wall, honestly, it doesn't hurt me. Yeah, my Overloads get kind of hurt, but if I'm siding this in, I'm taking out the Overloads, or at least 1 or 2 of them. because then Imperial Iron Wall is live, and when I special summon my Psy-Frames, they don't get banished. So next turn, I can just synchro with them.
Yeah, if they live.
Chances are they will. Triple Royal Decree. Everyone plays traps for this deck. Everyone. This Light Imprisonings hurt it. Vanities hurts it. And even if I have overloads, even if I have what? Lose one turns are there. Yeah, like even if I have these on board and an overload, I can just Magic Planter it, get rid of it, draw 2, and then I can activate another one later. I don't like Dark Destroyer or Burning Abyss, so I decided 3 Shadow Imps.
Hey.
Fuck it. Like there's nothing else to say. Fuck it. And 2 Wiretaps. Wiretap's too good. But yeah, that's the deck.
Yeah.
Regardless, if you like the deck profiles, there's gonna be a bunch more. We got a great hat build coming soon.
Got some trolley decks like Exodia and
Go ahead. We can tell you what. Subscribe if you want to see that bullshit. But subscribe anyways, regardless. End that video.